Hello everyone. One thing that turns women on more than sex backed by science. You went on the date. Everything seemed to unfold perfectly. The conversation flowed naturally, the chemistry felt real, and there was a sense of mutual attraction. When the night ended, the intimacy felt genuine. The sex was good, she smiled when she left, and everything seemed promising. But then, suddenly, nothing. No message, no call, no explanation. This is the uncomfortable truth many men struggle to accept. If sex alone were enough, she wouldn't disappear after sharing that moment with you. A woman can sleep with a man and still feel no deeper pull to see him again. Physical attraction might bring two people together for a night, but it doesn't necessarily create a lasting connection. What failed was not attraction. What failed was connection. And this connection isn't about romance, wealth, status, or even physical strength. There is a deeper trigger within the female brain, something biological rather than purely emotional. When this trigger is activated, a woman doesn't simply feel desire for a man. She begins to bond with him on a deeper level. It's not something she consciously decides. It happens through biological responses inside her nervous system. Sex can excite the body, but true attachment rewires the mind and emotional system. Many men believe they did everything right. They planned the date, created chemistry, and even shared physical intimacy. Yet despite all of that, the woman walks away without looking back. This confusion leads many men to believe they somehow failed in attraction. But attraction was never the real challenge. The real challenge is occupying a place in her emotional world. Women rarely leave because the sex was bad. More often, they leave because nothing meaningful remained after the moment ended. There was no emotional imprint, no lingering sense of connection, nothing strong enough to make her nervous system associate you with comfort or safety when you're no longer there. A man can excite a woman for one night and still be completely forgettable the next morning. That is the brutal difference between temporary excitement and genuine attachment. Attraction is not measured by how intense the moment feels while it's happening. Instead, it is measured by what remains after the moment is over. Most men unknowingly leave behind no emotional residue. They create excitement in the moment but fail to create a deeper sense of emotional grounding. Because of this, a woman returns to her life, her independence, and the many other options available to her. Without that deeper pull, there is no reason for her to stay, chase, or even explain why she disappeared. She simply moves on. From the male perspective, this situation feels confusing and frustrating. Many men believe they were confident, exciting, and even dominant during the interaction. They assume that strong desire naturally leads to attachment. But desire and attachment are not the same thing. A woman can feel desire for a man and still feel no emotional tie to him afterward. She can enjoy his company, laugh with him, and even share intimacy with him, yet still feel completely comfortable walking away. That's why the experience feels so puzzling for many men. He felt the spark and the intensity of the moment, but she never felt something settle inside her emotionally. And that difference changes everything. She didn't leave because you weren't exciting enough. She left because nothing about the experience anchored her emotionally. To truly understand this dynamic, we need to look beyond romantic ideas and focus on biology, specifically brain chemistry. Most of what men interpret as attraction is driven by dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical responsible for excitement, novelty, and the thrill of pursuit. It creates the rush people feel during flirting, sexual tension, and the early stages of intimacy. But dopamine is temporary. It spikes quickly, creates a rush of excitement, and then fades just as fast. It motivates people to chase the feeling, not necessarily the person associated with it. This is why lust can burn intensely but disappear overnight. Another chemical works very differently: oxytocin. Oxytocin is released when a woman feels emotionally safe and genuinely seen. It emerges when she feels understood rather than evaluated, and when her nervous system relaxes instead of remaining guarded. Oxytocin is deeply connected to long-term bonding, trust, and attachment. Unlike dopamine, it doesn't feel dramatic or explosive. Instead, it feels calming, grounding, and familiar. It doesn't spike suddenly, it settles quietly. When oxytocin is activated, her body begins associating you with emotional safety and comfort. Your presence becomes something that regulates her emotional state rather than simply stimulating it. That's when real attachment begins. She doesn't just like you, her body starts to remember you. This explains why a woman might walk away from incredible sex without hesitation, yet still find herself thinking about a man who didn't try very hard to impress her. One man gave her dopamine. The other gave her oxytocin. Dopamine excites her. Oxytocin imprints you. And this imprinting doesn't happen through logic or conscious decision-making. It occurs beneath awareness, deep within the nervous system. Her body decides long before her mind explains the reason. This is why men often say, "The chemistry between us was insane," while women might say, "I don't know why, but I just feel comfortable with him." They are describing two completely different experiences. Excitement fades quickly, but emotional safety creates lasting bonds. Once you understand this difference, the pattern becomes much clearer. Excitement alone rarely makes someone stay. Safety is what makes someone bond. And when a woman bonds on that level, everything about the relationship begins to change. Her interest becomes deeper rather than louder. Her presence becomes more consistent. She starts investing emotionally without being asked, because being around you feels regulating rather than draining. She begins to trust that she can relax around you without needing to protect herself. When that happens, the dynamic shifts completely. You're no longer trying to hold her attention. You already occupy a place inside her emotional world. And that is the difference between a man who is temporarily desired and a man who becomes unforgettable. Anyone can touch a woman's body, but very few men understand how to remain in her nervous system.